Okay, let's talk about enabling nested virtualization in Hyper-V. And what we mean by this is the ability to run a virtual machine inside a virtual machine. So you can see right here, I have 3 virtual machines for my Bassett 301 class. Those are the ones I'm going to play with right now. And I want to enable nested virtualization. Now, if you try to install Hyper-V on a server that does not have nested virtualization enabled, what'll happen is Hyper-V will try to install and it'll give a message saying, hey, this server doesn't have the required virtualization capabilities. And what it means by that is a processor that supports virtualization. So by default, Hyper-V virtual processors do not support that. So we want to add that capability in, and we do that in PowerShell. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to Windows Terminal Admin, and yes, I want to enable it, and it's going to open up on the wrong screen, so I'll drag it over here and we'll, come on, maximize it there so you can see it. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is get a list of my virtual machines. So it's get-vm, and that will show me all of my virtual machines. Now I want to do this for my Bassett 301 virtual machines. I'm not going to do it for any of my Linux ones that I've been playing with or for the 331. So I just want these. So I'm going to do get VM. I'm going to do Bassett 301 asterisk, and that should get just those virtual machines for me. Okay, now that I've got those virtual machines, I love the fact, by the way, that they're off and it says they're operating normally. I think that's hilarious. So now that I've got them, I need to enable processor virtualization. And here is my command. So it's going to be get VM because I want to get those VMs, and then I want to pipe that too. So get me these 3 VMs and then pipe this to another commandlet that's going to do something on them. And my command is set-VM processor. So I'm making a change to my VM processor, and what I'm turning on is expose virtualization UAL, I missed it. Expose virtualization extensions. And then I want to set that value to $true. So this is my command. Let's set VM processor. And for set VM processor, I have to give it what I want to do to the processor and the machine name that I want to do it to. And that's what this does. This gets the machine names that I want to do this to. So now all I have to do it is all I have to tell it is what do I want you to do with that VM processor. And this is the option that expose virtualization extensions basically turns it or allows the processor to support the virtual processor to support virtualization. And then $true is a variable that just means true. So I'm turning it on by default. That's set to false, and that's why Hyper-V won't load. So I'm going to do true. It doesn't give me any errors. That means it worked correctly. So I can exit out. I suppose I could do I'm going to detour right here. Let's do a get VM processor. And that's going to show us some of our settings. And obviously, if I wanted to view everything, I'm going to pipe that to get member. Do a little detour here into PowerShell. So get member is going to show me all of my properties, and I can choose what I want to see. And so I can choose to say, show me exposed virtualization extensions. So I'm going to want that, and then right up here, the VM name. So I'm going to pipe that to select object, show me my VM name, and the expose, whoops, I need a comma there, that won't work. Expose virtualization extensions. And that should show me that for all 3 of those VMs, virtualization extensions are exposed. That is true, so now we can do it. Okay, little detour there into PowerShell just for the fun of it. So let me go back and I'm going to restart my virtual machines. So I'm going to click on this one and click start. And I actually don't even need to open it up. So I'm just going to right click and start. That'll be faster and easier. And we'll wait for these to come up, and let's work with DM2 here. So if you remember, I've got my domain controller and a couple of domain members. So we're going to bring up DM2. I'm going to do a connect, which takes me to an enhanced session. Maximize that. We'll wait for this to go ahead and come up. So we're working on the group policy client right now. And once this boots up, I should be able to log in and install Hyper-V inside a system that's running in Hyper-V. All right, so log in here real quick. I think I typed that correctly, but I'm not sure. Let's try this again. All right, we'll get logged in. We'll wait for Server Manager to open up. We'll go to Tools. I don't want tools, never mind. We're going to go to Manage and add roles and features. And from this point on, it should just be a standard Hyper-V installation. Select Hyper-V, add features, click Next. Hyper-V will require a system reboot. I'm going to tell it yes. Ideally, by the way, I would be doing this with multiple virtual switches and multiple... I'm losing my train of thought here. Multiple virtual switches, multiple physical connections to do everything we want, especially if we're going to allow live migration. I'm going to go ahead and allow that. I'm going to say use Kerberos. And next, and our default locations for storing things, we're good with that, and install. So at this point, it's pretty much a standard Hyper-V installation. Like I mentioned before, we should, ideally, if this is a demo environment, right? So I just have one Ethernet adapter. If we're doing this in a production environment, we're going to want multiple Ethernet adapters, hopefully on the physical host, and then mapped to different switches in the first VM, so we can use multiple switches in the nested VM and get things to go out through different physical networks. One for live migrations, one for clustering if we're using clustering, although in this case we're not going to, and one for client access. So at this point I can click close, but it does come up with this. A restart is pending, and it's because of the way Hyper-V interacts with the hardware to allow virtualization. We do have to go ahead and reboot, whether we're doing this on a virtual machine or on a physical machine. Anytime we do the Hyper-V roll, we have to restart the computer. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and restart, but honestly, we have done what we needed to do. We have enabled nested virtualization on this server, on this virtual server. We will now be able to run virtual machines inside of a virtual machine.